Alright, this is my new Geartown Monarch deck I've been playing around with. I substituted the Frog engine with a more warrior-centric engine, well, plus Battle Fader, obviously, and this seems to be working out a lot better. So anyways, let's go into the deck list. We have one triple Ancient Gear Dragon, one Gortz, triple Redox, triple Curaz, triple Spell Striker, double TG Striker, triple Battle Fader, triple Storm, one Reinforce of the Army, triple Z1 or Zone, triple Terraform, one Gold Sakoff, triple Warrior Return Alive, triple Geartown, triple Dark Coffin, and double Wild Tornado. In the extra deck, we have one Star Eater, one Ord Golem, one Mistworm, one Scrap Dragon, one Colossal Fighter, one Vulcan the Divine, one Natura Beast, one Ally of Justice, one Dragon Overlord, double Divine Dragon Knight, one Gaia Dragon Charger, Constellar M7, one Photon Strike, and one Wind-Up Zenmite. Alright, so maybe wondering how this card works in here. Well, you don't really want to use its effect to bring itself out, because he doesn't really work well with TG Striker, since 7 plus 2 equals 9. And you can bring out this guy. There's actually two other targets, since he is, they're both Earth type. And there are two other monsters who are both require an Earth tuner plus an Earth non-tuner. But this card, they both have terrible effects, and this card's effect really puts its attack at the same attack as those other two cards. So, and plus it doesn't have any requirements, just in case you want to go for it some other way. But anyways, Redux, you're really using its effect to... It's basically a monster reborn. If you discard Redux plus, one of your Earth monsters, usually you want to discard Ancient Gear Dragon, since he's really fine in the graveyard, and use his effect to bring out Curaz, because it doesn't have to be an Earth-type monster. You can just special summon any monster from your grave, and Curaz's effect can activate when it's special summoned or normal summoned. And you want to use Curaz as much as possible, because what it does is it activates your card's effects while at the same time gaining hand advantage. And that's really the only way this deck works, is if you're able to destroy your own cards to activate their effects, while at the same time gaining another effect, like through Storm, destroying your opponent's spell and traps, while at the same time gaining its effect, or with Curaz, destroying your cards and drawing cards off of them. You don't really ever want to use his effect to destroy your opponent's monsters or cards, but you can if you're going to go for like a game. Also, Curaz is level 6, so 2 plus 6 equals 8. All these are 8. And Colossal Fighter can also special summon out Curaz if he's destroyed by battle, so that's awesome. And yeah, Redux is in here to special summon out Curaz. And that's why Golden Sarcophagus is here to search out Redux, to add a Redux to your hand, but then you have to wait a turn to actually use his effect to special summon Curaz. And you have to actually have Curaz in the grave anyway, and there is no really reliable way to add him to your hand. I was actually thinking about adding Foolish Burial, but that kind of just slows the deck down, and it's really just a -1. So this deck isn't really about Curaz anyway. He is a huge part of the deck, but it's not all about him. You can still win without ever drawing him because of Storm. And, well, Ancient Gear Dragon is your main beat stick of this deck. In this new trap-heavy format, Ancient Gear Dragon is amazing because your opponent can't activate spell or traps when he attacks over them. And you're going to be bringing out Ancient Gear Dragon a lot with Geartown and Zone, or Z1. You just set Geartown, and then set another Geartown on top of it, special summon out Ancient Gear Dragon, and then destroy your own Geartown with either Curaz or Storm. And I haven't really tried Double Cyclone, because I already have Storm. Triple Storm. Oh yeah, TG Striker and Spell Striker. They're both warrior types, and they can both special summon themselves out. Spell Striker can special summon himself out easier by just removing from play one spell card from your graveyard. You don't ever want to remove a Geartown, but all other targets are okay, like Warrior Return Alive, Terraform. Terraform is a great target for bringing out Spell Striker. And TG Striker, if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it. If not, you can just normal summon him and go for a Synchro. Since he's level 2 and Spell Striker is level 3, and they're both Earth type, you can bring out Natura Beast. This card is amazing, and that's another option you can go for because it just pretty much stops your opponent from activating spells. And you can mill cards, so hopefully get Kuros in the graveyard. But you don't really want to mill that much with this deck because you actually want to use your spell and trap cards. But milling is fine, to get Kuros in the grave, because you want to add them back with Warrior Return Alive. Warrior Return Alive, because this is a warrior-heavy deck, you can add Kuros back to your hand, or, TG Striker, go for synchro plays, or Spell Striker to special summon out. Because Ancient Gear Dragon can also be brought out with one tribute if you have Geartown out, and that does happen sometimes. I've even brought out Gear Dragon by, going for a double tribute. And yeah, let's see, Battle Fader is self-explanatory, because this is a tribute-heavy deck, because it does run a Monarch, and Battle Fader has saved my ass so many times, and it is absolutely invaluable in this deck. For it's stopping the battle, and because it's a hand trap that stops the battle, because you don't really run any spell or trap cards that are conventional. The whole purpose of this deck is you want your opponent to waste their MSTs on your face-down cards. That way you gain advantage while they lose a card for actually activating the MST, and then you gain an advantage while destroying, one card of their hand. So they basically go -2 for trying to destroy one of your cards. And there aren't really too many good cards that actually work. Basically, this whole deck revolves around Geartown, and destroying Z1 to add Geartown back to your hand. And Dark Coffin and Wild Tornado. Dark Coffin is infinitely better than Wild Tornado, because Wild Tornado, you have to target a face-up card in the field, while Dark Coffin is just one of your opponent's monsters or a random card in their hand. I was also testing out Smoke Grenade Thief, but it goes to the graveyard so many times without it actually activating its effect that I just took it out. It is great though, because it discards a card from your hand, and discarding cards from your opponent's hand is great effect. But Wild Tornado is okay, but it's not great, so I only have 2. And Big Bang Shot's also great, but it has the same drawback of the Smoke Grenade in that it's an equip effect, and a lot of people play face-down cards. Let's see, I don't think I forgot anything. Obviously Gortz, because your field is cleared a lot, because this deck is all about destroying your own spell and trap cards, and there are times when you have no cards in your field, and that happens quite often. Even though you do play a field spell card, and this is a very important card, it does get destroyed often, and it is not impossible for it to be gone off the field multiple times. And you just recover it with Z1. Alright, and the extra deck, I think I only talked about one. Star Eater Dragon. Let's see, Star Eater Dragon's level 11. How did you bring this out again? Because you only have one tuner, TG Striker. TG Striker plus Ancient Gear Dragon and a Battle Fader equals 11. TG Striker goes into him, that's 9. No, that doesn't really work. 2 plus, that's 5 plus 6. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, so anyway, Star Eater Dragon can be brought out with Spell Striker, TG Striker, and Kuros, because 2 plus 3 equals 5, plus 6 equals 11. Which you probably won't be bringing out Star Eater that much, but he is an option. Rock Org, I explained that earlier. Mistworm, level 9. Let's see, how did this one work out again? Something with Battle Fader, I don't know. Scrap Dragon, because, tuner plus the Monarch. Vulcan the Divine, that probably won't be brought out as much. Natura Beast. This card will probably be out the most. You'll probably see the most play out of this. If not, Ally of Justice, because it's probably the second best. If you can go for Natura Beast, you want to go for this card, because it completely shuts down your opponent's spell cards, which is a great thing to do, while at the same time milling your deck. This card, I don't think I've ever brought it out in this deck, and I've tested it out many times, so I might just drop it from the list. But it is a good option, just in case you're completely screwed and you happen to have a lot of monsters in your hand. I usually go for this guy the most, though, Divine Dragon Knight, because he has a Spell Speed 2 monster effect, which is rare, and you can use it to make him immune to effects, or use it to, stop one of your opponent's effects. Because what it does is it makes a card immune to effects while at the same time negating their effects. And it is a lingering effect, so if you leave, activate it on yourself, you'll still be immune to effects, which it basically does. Also, if your opponent drops a Black Rose Dragon on you, you can chain it to Black Rose Dragon to stop it, since Black Rose Dragon effect activates on the field and he's not tributed, so it doesn't activate in the graveyard. Gaia Dragon Knight, because you sometimes do have out double Kuros, so you can go for an M7 Photon Bronzer, And after you use up their effects, just drop a Dragonite on top of it. And wind up Zenmite because Spell Striker is pretty easy to bring out, and you can possibly go for one. And it's good just to have it in there because he's probably the best rank 3 monster. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure I explained everything.